discussing today is the importance of omnichannel in 2024. So to describe what omnichannel means, I don't know if everybody knows what the word means, but it's basically being in multiple channels at the same time when you sell your product. It can be your private label product. It can be reselling the products, but it's basically being in Amazon, Shopify, TikTok, Walmart, eBay, so as many as channels as possible. And we're gonna be talking today why it's so important in being as many channels possible. So I don't know if you wanna give your perspective first, Amir, and then I will add some.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, as you said, many sellers are only focused on Amazon. For sure, Amazon is the biggest marketplace so far and very important one. But still, we are seeing exponential growth on platforms like Walmart.com, TikTok Shop. For sure, like in terms of marketplace, we have some other smaller players like Timu and stuff. But it's very important because those platforms, the opportunity that we see there is that many sellers are not aware, or maybe they are aware, but they don't have the time, the focus to jump into these new platforms. So still there is an interesting demand, customers, clients that are buying the products from these platforms, but we don't see as much sellers as, for example, compared to Amazon, right? I think that the other day we were talking about TikTok Shop. There is around 30,000 sellers, just 30,000. So if you compare with the millions of seller central accounts that we have on Amazon, is a huge difference, and in terms of revenue, yes, of course. For example, TikTok Shop is just 5% of the revenue compared to what Amazon makes, but it still is very interesting in terms of if you divide, the gross revenue that each platform generates per year divided by number of sellers. If you have like an average, probably is kind of similar, or even is bigger, the opportunity, and the piece of the pie on this smaller platform. So I think that's very important. And also, customers are there for a reason. It's not the same the Gen Z that is on TikTok Shop and I want to, discover products in a different way than someone that is, for example, a mom that is doing the groceries on Walmart.com. So it's also depending on the type of product that you want to sell. Each platform has different niches, and stuff. But overall, it's a really good idea because that to jump into a new platform.
Yeah,
What do you
definitely.
think?
And as you mentioned, the demographics, it's totally different. I mean, the kids nowadays, I'm talking about kids like 16, 17, 18 years old, they mostly are in TikTok, and
Yeah,
TikTok shop is so easy, so convenient to purchase the product that instead of going to Amazon, log into your profile, look for the product, and then purchase the product. In TikTok, it pops up. You watching a video or something, it pops out the product. You like the product, you double click and you Apple Pay, and the product that's it. It's
that's
been
it.
shipped. So and the old generation is not used to that. But the new generation, which eventually they're gonna be also old generation, so they probably gonna be the one who gonna be buying the most. And if they're gonna be the buying the most, so that platform is gonna be more have more demand. Right now, Amazon we know is the top, is is the one who's selling the most. But eventually, I think TikTok, or as all similar to TikTok, I think they're gonna thrive if Amazon do not adapt into the same ecosystem as TikTok. They might struggle in the future. You know,
Yeah,
same thing
definitely.
with Walmart. Walmart, I think it's a totally different customer. The people who buy from Walmart do not buy from Amazon, and the other way around. So you
Mm.
basically increasing your exposure to new customers. Okay, so those are a couple of reasons, and for me, the main one, I think, relying solely on one platform is basically dangerous. It's very risky. So the
Yeah.
way to mitigate your risk, you need to diversify into different platforms. But don't understand me wrong. I would never recommend a person who's starting selling online to do multi-channels. It's
No.
crazy. It will drive you crazy. It's gonna overwhelm you, and you're not gonna do any of it good. Focus on one platform, which I always recommend Amazon. It's the one that sells the most. Dominate or sell well on it, and then start diversifying into other platforms. But don't start all of them at the same time, because all of them are
Okay.
complicated, I would say. They have their own way of doing business, and you need to understand it's going to take you time. Okay. But
Yeah.
you don't want to start doing all of them at the same time without making any money. So you want to start with one platform that sells the most, start making some money, and then you can start branch into the other ones, because all of them have different policies, regulations, different form of selling. So you don't want to catch yourself into basically getting suspended on all platforms, because you overwhelmed to understand all
Correct.
the policies. You know.
Well, and another important aspect is if a person is ready to jump into a different platform because already dominated, for example, Amazon in this case, the ideal would be transition from Amazon to Walmart, right? Because the similarities that both platforms share in terms of how the PPC works, how the algorithm works, how the listing optimization works. Because TikTok Shop is, another different world. I would compare more TikTok Shop with your Shopify, because on your Shopify you also have to generate content, work with influencer, do paid ads. So the skills that you need to do TikTok Shop are pretty similar as the skills that you will need to sell directly on your web page, right? So no, I don't think every seller is ready for that, and maybe they get frustrated because they don't see results. For example, they're doing well on Amazon, Walmart, but they don't see as much results on TikTok Shop. Is because the skill set that you need for TikTok Shop compared to Amazon or Walmart is completely different.
Right.
And I think it's important to have both. But as you said, in the beginning, it's a great idea to focus on Amazon, then Walmart, and then you can start develop the TikTok shop and the web page. What do you think? Should brands or sellers start having their own website from the beginning, or is something you should start developing, later on?
So you're saying your second choice would be Walmart after Amazon.
Walmart, correct.
I always recommend to start. My second choice would be Shopify. Okay. You still need a website. When it also depends on what type of products you sell. If it's your own brand, then definitely
Mhm.
you need a website. You need to start with the website. You need to have some sort of a presence that somebody want to Google you, and they want to see your website. They want to know that you exist, and not just random product on Amazon. Okay. So it's
Correct.
important to have your own website. Now, if you're a reseller, maybe not as much, but still, for me, would be for the reselling. Second platform would be Shopify. And I would say, because I know Shopify a lot, I start with Shopify, not with Amazon.
Mhm.
My first platform was Shopify, and then I branched to Amazon. But I think Shopify have great potential, and the customers is yours. So instead of dedicating maybe, again, purely my opinion, but instead of just focusing on sales, you can also focus on building customer data, that will eventually
Correct.
just stay with you. They're not gonna go anywhere. You can advertise to them, you can promote the products, you can do a bunch of stuff once you have significant amount of customers in your Shopify store, you know?
Your Shopify. Yeah. Well, I agree with that. What strategies you think are the most relevant when it comes to linking, your strategy on Amazon with your Shopify strategy? Do you have any strategy or any advice for sellers that want to have an omni strategy for both channels?
So Shopify and Amazon at the same time,
Correct.
they don't it's not a same strategy. So you cannot combine the strategies because Shopify is purely from sales from social media or Google Shop. Okay, so that's where you do the advertisement. With the Amazon, your advertisement is purely in Amazon. So
Amazon.
that's the good thing is helps each other. So if you're making some noise on social media of your product and you're directing them to your website, a lot of times people go to Amazon and check to see if your product is on Amazon as well, and they prefer to buy from Amazon because they trust Amazon. So if you create your own website after you have your Amazon store, sometimes people, it's gonna even increase your sales on your Amazon stores. Okay. Of course, if you
Right.
are the only one who's selling the product, if there's a bunch of sellers, it might increase the sale overall of the product on Amazon, not just for you.
Okay, that sounds good. Uh, well, I heard about, for example, the TikTok Shop effect on Amazon sales, and I think that's pretty interesting because actually on TikTok Shop you can have a great impact in terms of views, impressions, people that are watching your videos or affiliates, etc. But the impact is that when people are on TikTok Shop, sometimes they don't feel comfortable, buying there. So they go and Google your product, or they go on Amazon and they search for it. So yeah, it has a very interesting impact on both on your own website and on your Amazon sales.
Yeah, I heard that as well. The TikTok effect is helps a lot for Amazon. It increases your sale between 20 to 30%. Okay. Because people have a lot more trust in Amazon because everybody
Yeah,
buys from Amazon. TikTok is still not there. There may be a lot of people now in TikTok, but not everybody trusts. The younger generation do trust. They're buying right from there, but the older generation, they're still trusting Amazon, so they go and see if that product is on Amazon, and they prefer buying from Amazon. They don't have to go from hassle and put in the credit card and TikTok maybe, as
correct.
they already have all that information on Amazon. So it definitely helps and overlaps the increase of sales on both platforms.
Great. Awesome.
W- what platform you think is more tailored to sell specific products than the other ones, like in terms of category?
Categories. So when it comes to TikTok Shop, I would say it's difficult to define this, but it's mostly products that you can make content with. You know what I mean? For example, uh, products that in any way, obviously every product, you can make content and stuff, but there is a specific products. For example, a teeth whitening kit, right? These products that are viral on TikTok Shop, that you can see the real effect. The before and after, people showing the routine they do, the results, the impact in their emotional life, in how they perceive themselves. So the content ideas are technically infinite. So viral products, and also like products that you can do much content, and a very broad content work really well on TikTok Shop. Also, in TikTok Shop, usually you don't have products are really expensive. The best, like the average order on TikTok Shop is usually $20 to $30. So it's not for products, 80, 200, $500 usually. We're talking something general. Walmart for sure, like for example, groceries performs really well. Office, everything when it comes to office, because people usually also do their, and they buy products from home, from their groceries, from the office too. So those two categories, I think, on Walmart perform really well. And Amazon is everything. On Amazon you have even the very small niches or the specific categories, they are pretty big, probably like $1 to $2 million per month, the smallest category. If you go, for example, to Smart Scout, in this tool, you can see the breakdown of all the subcategories on Amazon. So even if you go to the even like the smallest category on a subcategory, you are going to see 1 million, 2 millions per month, 500,000. That's the smallest, but still is a pretty interesting market. If you're competing with 10 brands, 15 brands in a $1 million market per month, it's still interesting. So on Amazon, pretty much everything you can see, from books to like electronics. There is everything on Amazon. But on Amazon, I think it's a little bit different because you don't want to enter in categories where Chinese sellers are selling, for example, directly. And tools like a Smart Scout that I like to use, you can check, what's the percentage of sellers from China that are selling directly. Mostly factories, that are selling directly in that category. So that's something interesting. What do you think? Do you agree?
Yeah, I totally agree. There is some categories that are more tailored to a specific channel. For example, Walmart is great for groceries. I mean, everybody
Yeah,
buys groceries from Walmart. Amazon trying to get into that category, like Amazon Fresh, they're
yeah,
trying to sell groceries, but they're not as big as Walmart in that category. But for example, any other products like electronics, toys, all those products sells really good on Amazon. Now TikTok, again, I don't have a lot of experience on TikTok yet, but I see what you're saying about the content. Whatever product that is easy to create the content that people can actually like feel the process of the product, like now
yeah,
and before, I think that's really sells. But yeah, definitely there is some products that are gonna do better in one channel than the other. You know, that's also
correct.
people need to know and understand. Maybe there is a product that you should start from a specific channel instead of just going the one that is not gonna perform as well, despite the
Correct.
fact that it might sell the channel that sells the most, like Amazon. Maybe, yeah, the channels is the one that sells the most in every categories, but your category maybe is going to be much better on TikTok to start, you know?
I agree. I agree. Totally. And also, like, for example, you can see on TikTok Shop that you are starting to have more data about what is working. On Amazon, we have a bunch of tools and softwares to check the data, and you can check your specific category or product type. Walmart, we don't have as much, I either don't have as much experience on Walmart, but there's no many tools. But on TikTok Shop, you start seeing some tools that help to understand how much revenue each category is doing. For example, beauty is the number one on TikTok. But yeah, you can see technically the category breakdown in terms of revenue stuff, but also on TikTok, you can see for a specific product. So similar, kind of similar to the tools we have on Amazon. And that's something very new So not not as much sellers are aware of those tools that are very helpful for market research when it comes to enter TikTok Shop.
Right. Right. Well,
Yeah,
we did mention TikTok, we did mention Shopify, we did mention Walmart and Amazon. There's another platform that is also specific for a specific product, which is eBay. Okay. I know
eBay.
not a lot of people sell on eBay, but eBay is good for the products that you wanna auction. You know, the one that you wanna sell, you don't know the price at what you wanna sell, but you can action it. You know, the paintings are good, the refurbished products are good. So those sort of products are good for eBay, you know?
Right. Right. And what do you think about Temu? Because I know sellers that are trying or starting to sell on the platform, but did you hear something about like the categories that work better there?
Well, I have purchased from Timo. I got invited to sell on Timo, but I haven't sold anything. So I don't know how the part as a seller is, but I know as a
Okay.
consumer is definitely there's such a good prices they offering. So I think
Yeah.
it's more for Chinese sellers that are good.
Chinese sellers.
Yeah,
Hmm.
there's a lot of products that are like plastic and cheap. So they're definitely coming from China to be able to offer the prices they're offering.
Yeah.
So that I would say that's gonna be the channel for that. That's the cheap products and the
The
one
cheap
that
products.
kind of reusable, you know, maybe charger, socks, you know, hats,
Yeah.
things like that you can buy purchase from basically from China
From
on Temu.
China, right. Alec, I have a question for you. So basically, when it comes to international expansion, when, for example, you're already dominating Amazon US as a seller, you're having great sales there, and you think that it's time to move to Canada, Mexico, or Europe on, and start selling on Amazon as well. Would you prioritize to sell international on Amazon or first try to expand the marketplaces on US? So meaning Walmart, TikTok, or eBay, as you mentioned. What would be your strategy when it comes to brand expansion?
I mean, it's all depends, you know, it depends on the brand, depends on the necessity of the brand. You know,
Yeah,
sometimes brand they want to go international, and you can offer that to them. And yes, of course, then you do international. But if it's your own brand and you want to go international, but I definitely recommend you first do all the sales possible here in state, okay, and then expand internationally. The problem with going international is you have to start dealing with the problems that are in that country.
hmm,
So if it's a new currency, if it's a new regulations, import issues, permit issues, so all those things that you need to start understanding in each
correct.
country. So it's not like, okay, I'm gonna go international, you start selling everywhere. No. You wanna sell in Colombia, then you have to learn everything about Colombia. What the permits they have, how to import the product, what is the currency, you know?
Yeah,
All that you need to cover, and then you can start selling, you know. I mean, there is a way to test the market. You can just send maybe a few products, and you don't have to go through all that. But in order to actually penetrate into the country, you need to register your brand into your country as well. You know, it's not like you
yeah,
have a
correct.
trademark here in US, now your trademark works everywhere. No, now you have to register your brand into the country, in the country that you're going
Correct.
to import, you know. When we had a brand, we start expanding internationally pretty quickly. You know, we understood how it works, so it was it was basically pretty fast but expensive. You know, because if you want to
Hmm.
import, I don't know, 20 different products into specific country, you know that you need to have 20 different permits. Each product have a different permit. Now, if you have a brand then you have a product name. You also need to trademark that in the country. All that costs money.
Correct.
Okay. So,
Correct.
but if you the correct way to do it, don't try to do it yourself. Find a consultant
Mm,
that knows how to do it. You pay them, of course, it's gonna be additional fee, but they know how to do it. If you're gonna try to figure that out, it's gonna take you
impossible.
it's gonna
Yeah.
take you too much time, and you're gonna probably gonna waste a lot of money, and probably not gonna do it right because it's
Yeah.
complicated. They make it complicated for a reason, you know. They want those consultants to make money. So they make it so
Correct.
complicated that it's just hard to understand. And the bureaucracy that is in each country, it's it's crazy.
Insane. Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah, even harder than US. Most other thing US
It
is
is
very
harder.
regulated. Yeah, it's
Yes, it
harder.
is harder.
Uh,
Mexico, Colombia, Costa Rica, Peru, they all have specific permit. It's like FDA, and
yeah,
it's 10 times harder than FDA. You know,
yeah.
FDA, it's piece of cake comparing to those because,
To those.
yeah.
Yeah, and finally, I want to ask you about Mercado Libre. I know you used to sell on Mercado Libre a lot. So tell us about, if you still consider that interesting marketplace for most brands.
Yeah, Mercado Libre is the biggest South America marketplace. I love
Yeah,
Mercado Libre. It was very, I implement all my knowledge from Amazon into Mercado Libre. And for me, Mercado Libre was so easy, you know, because it's
yeah,
much easier than Amazon. And for the people who do not have a knowledge from Amazon, starting Mercado Libre is a lot harder, you know. So the people who sells in Mercado Libre from those countries, for them it was complicated. They didn't understood what brand registry is, and they do have it in Mercado Libre. They didn't understood what FBA means, and they do have MBO full in many of those countries, not all of them, and front store. There's a lot of brands that they have no idea that Mercado Libre had front stores, but you had to
mm,
register the brand in order to have it. So there's a lot of things, a lot of advantage that we had that a lot of sellers in those countries don't have because they didn't know, you know.
yeah.
And but Mercado Libre does have a lot of potential. The only issue is in those countries is the currency. The currency was a big problem for us. You know, the devaluation of the currency, it's super bad. You
Mm,
know, it can drop 10, 15, 20% from one day to another, and it can eat your margins right there. You know, so you can lose money just
correct.
because of that. And you don't have control of that, like zero control. It's not like you have
Mm,
control of, you know, you can have a control of your product and your customers, but you cannot have a control of the currency.
yeah.
And sometimes, yeah, you can increase the prices to a customer, but they're not gonna buy it then. You know,
Mm.
they're gonna buy from
Yeah, and
someone.
they
They're gonna buy from someone who bought it at the lowest currency exchange, and gonna have
yeah,
a lot better price than you because you just imported with the highest. So it is
yeah.
complicated.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's an extra headache that you don't want to deal with with the
Exactly.
opportunities that seller have right now in US. So yeah, it's just my opinion.
Correct. Correct. I mean, again, if you're ready, doing super well, and you want to start going international, it is a possibility there, and you can do it. You just need to understand that you're gonna start facing different problems
Yeah,
in every country. You know. So
correct.
yeah. But yeah, this
Sounds
this
good.
topic is great, Amir. Thank you very
Yep.
much for
No, thank you
coming
for the
again.
opportunity.
And again, we're gonna be doing this every single month. There's gonna be a lot of topics, interesting topics in everything in regards to e-commerce. Okay.
Awesome.
So yeah, you can follow me on my Instagram page, which is Alexei Leal. You can follow Amir as well. Amir, what is your Instagram page?
Amir Lima Hart.
Amir Lima Hart. So, all right, guys. Thank you
Yep.
very much. Thank you, Amir. Talk to you
Thank
later.
you. See you later. Bye.
Espérate, espérate. Me fue temas.